I need to tell you guys something that I don't usually talk about because it's honestly a little embarrassing. About 6 years ago, I was sitting in my beat-up car counting quarters just to see if I had enough for a gallon of gas and a cheap coffee. Oh shit, I remember that feeling of looking at my bank account and seeing a balance that wouldn't even cover a decent dinner for two. I wasn't some financial prodigy, and I definitely was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was just a kid trying to figure out why some people seem to have it all figured out while I was struggling to keep the lights on. That was my turning point, my enough is enough moment where I realized that if I didn't change my relationship with money, I was going to be stuck in that car forever. Most people think you need some crazy high-level strategy or a secret insider tip to invest real money, but the truth is way more boring. You don't need a PhD in finance. You just need a plan that works even when your motivation is in the basement and the markets are as boring as watching paint dry. You have to stick to that plan when the world feels like it's ending and when the world feels like it's never been better. So in this video, I am breaking down my exact no bullshit plan to invest $40,000 in 2026. I am going to show you how I am doing it and more importantly, how you can apply this exact same framework to your life, whether you reinvesting $400 or $40,000. But before we get into the heavy lifting, I want to hear from you. How much are you aiming to invest in 2026? Drop that number in the comments right now because saying it out loud makes it a hell of a lot more real. Now let's get one thing straight. I am not dropping $40,000 into the market in one go, like some high-stakes gambler. This money is being funneled in steadily throughout the entire year, paycheck by paycheck, brick by brick. And look, I'm not here to brag or flex on anyone because I know there is always a bigger fish in the pond. I might be aiming for 40K, but there's some 27-year-old out there absolute crushing it and investing 100K or 200K. This isn't a competition. It's about me being transparent with you guys about my own journey to $1 million net worth. This goal comes from living way below my means, staying disciplined with a consistent income, and not letting lifestyle creep ruin my future. I have to emphasize that I did not start here 5 or 6 years ago. If I managed to put away $100 a week, I felt like a king. Back then, it was maybe 3K or 5K a year, and it felt like a mountain. It was until the last couple of years as I worked my ass off to grow my income that these bigger numbers even became a possibility. To hit that $40,000 mark this year, the math is pretty simple. I need to invest $3,333 every single month. I get paid bi-weekly, so there are going to be those magic months with 3 paychecks where I can really move the needle. But the biggest threat to this whole plan is the stock market. It's my own spending. If I get stupid with my money or start buying things I don't need to impress people I don't like, this 40K goal dies instantly. My core principle is that I don't care about maximizing my returns this month or even this year. I'm not trying to find the next moon coin or day, trade my way to a Lambo. All I care about is the consistency of the contribution because I know that over 10, 20, or 30 years, the math is on my side. The goal is to be a machine investing regardless of whether the market is ripping to all-time highs or tanking into the dirt. I want to avoid those panic-fueled decisions that destroy wealth because momentum is built in the boring moments. I'm not out here trying to pick individual stocks or outsmart the hedge funds on Wall Street. As long as I get the average market return, I am perfectly happy. And honestly, you should be too. Investing is 90% psychology and 10% math. And the only thing that matters is if you can hold your own during the storm. If the market drops 30% tomorrow, are you going to sell everything and hide under your bed? Or are you going to see it as a massive discount and keep your foot on the gas? That's the beauty of this strategy. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to be the most consistent. For those of you following my Road to a Million series, you know my portfolio is basically built on the SP 500. I keep it simple with 3 main buckets: VO or VO SHD for that sweet dividend cash flow, and VUG for that tech-heavy growth. They re-ETFs, which is basically just a basket of stocks that does the work for you, so you don't have to babysit them. Now, let us pull back the curtain and look at how this $40,000 actually breaks down into reality. In 2025, I managed to invest a bit over $33,000, so stepping up to 40K feels like the natural next level. But here's the cool part about the math. I don't actually need to find $40,000 in my own pocket this year because I am utilizing my company S401k match, which is basically a 100% return on my money before it even hits the market. They match 6% of my salary, and at a $140,000 income, that adds up to $8,400 of free money. So if you subtract that match from the 40K goal, I only need to come up with $31,600 on my own. That brings my monthly personal target down to about $2,633, which feels way more manageable. If your company offers a match and you aren't taking it, you are literally leaving a pile of cash on the table. I put in my 8,400, they put in their 8,400, and just like that, I am nearly a quarter of the way to my goal. Now, my company is a bit unique because I won't actually see that match hit the account until December. So throughout the year, I am just grinding it out with my own contributions, waiting for that big bonus deposit at the end. My priority list is ironclad. First, I hit that 6% for the 401k match. Next, I am sprinting to max out my Roth IRA, which for 2026 is $7,500. I'll probably have that totally knocked out within the first 3 or 4 months of the year once the Roth is maxed. Every extra cent goes straight into my taxable brokerage account. And again, the strategy for all of it is just the SP 500. I know some people hear that and think, damn, that is the most boring thing I've ever heard. And you rewrite. It is boring as hell, but it's not supposed to be entertainment, it's supposed to be a wealth building engine. I don't need excitement in my portfolio, I need results over the long term. Dollar cost averaging is a form of supreme discipline that removes the should I buy now stress from your life. I don't care if the market drops 5% or 40%. I am just buying more because time in the market always beats timing the market. I've seen people wait on the sidelines for a dip that never comes while the market goes up 20% and leaves them in the dust. Most mistakes happen when people get emotional because they see red on their screen and their brain goes into survival mode. But I've been through the 2020 crash and the 2022 pullback, and I stayed the course both times. I am going to show you guys again this year that if the market tanks, I am not going anywhere. One thing I am absolutely not doing in 2026 is day trading or chasing the hype stock of the week. I am not using leverage, I am not buying options, and I am not hoping for some overnight miracle. The hardest part of investing is actually just sitting on your ass and doing nothing while your money works. If you aren't constantly buying and selling, you don't give yourself the chance to mess it up. Now, what could actually go wrong and ruin this whole plan? The first thing is obviously a total market meltdown where everything goes into a tailspin. We've had some insanely green years lately. So a flat year or a pullback wouldn't even surprise me at this point, but that's why I focus on things I can control, like my job security. I am working my ass off to be the most valuable person on my team so that if layoffs start happening, I am the last person they want to let go. You have to make yourself indispensable, especially when the economy starts looking shaky. The second big threat is lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of wealth. I have to be super intentional about my spending, whether it is planning trips or just going out for drinks with the boys. I am grateful for my salary, but I can let a higher income trick me into thinking I need a more expensive life. I use my Road to a Million series to hold myself accountable, checking my savings rate every single month if I see that rate drop from 30 to 15%. It's a massive wake-up call that. I am getting sloppy. Lifestyle creep happens slowly, a little more here, a little more there, until suddenly you are working just to pay for things you don't even use. I know some of you might be watching this thinking, dude, I am lucky if I can invest $500 this year. And honestly, that is a perfectly fine place to be, because it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the habit, it's about your investing rate. What percentage of your home pay are you putting to work? If you can build the habit of saving 15% or 20% of your income when you're remaking 40K, you'll be a pro when you're remaking 100K. I was investing 40K when I was 21. I was barely keeping my head above water, but I focused on the percentage, and as my income grew, my wealth followed suit. It is a million times better to start now with $50 than to wait 5 years to start with $5,000. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to have months where you overspend, but you just have to get back on the horse. My portfolio is about 61% of my total net worth, and this year is just one more stepping stone toward that $1 million goal. There is no get-rich-quick button. There is only the direction you reheaded and the speed at which you're removing this year. The goal is $40,000, and I am going to use every tool in my kit to get there. The 401k match, the extra paycheck months in July and December, and the sheer force of will to keep my expenses low. Again, this isn't me flexing. It's just me showing you the reality of the grind. If I can find a way to make more money, I'll find a way to spend less, because that 40K is non-negotiable for me. I hope this gives you a bit of a roadmap or at least some motivation to look at your own numbers. We all on different paths, but we all trying to reach that same place of freedom. If you still here, I appreciate you more than you know. Drop a like if you ready to crush your 2026 goals and hit that subscribe button to join the journey. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.